are these people?
So David Miller, Professor David Miller, I'm sure we've talked about him in the past. He actually, speaking of Nasrallah's funeral,
tracking power himself,
he attended Nasrallah's funeral in person and then was detained at Heathrow Airport on his way back, and he's been harassed, and they've called for his firing at Bristol University. He's sacked by Bristol University on behest of the Zionist movement, of course, and editor of
jail right away.
Powerbase.info, and he's a producer at Palestine Declassified. Yep. He worked up a thread. Holy shit, and it's a mega thread. We're not going to go through all of it, but I wanted to go through some of it. He decided that he wanted to expose the Zionists. Now, apparently, there was a Glastonbury music festival that was held recently.
Glastonbury, correct? Yes.
And Kneecap, the band that has been in the news quite a bit, was invited
from Ireland
to play there.
Correct.
Right. Very very pro-Palestine, but they got famous at Burning Man because they put up a Free Palestine sign behind them, and the Zionists freaked out and lost their minds. All right. Apparently, Reef knows their music. I'm an aging Gen Xer, so I have no idea. But
I would love a fucking Kneecap version of Come Out, Eat Black and Tans would be great. You know?
Okay. David Miller built a thread.
Very much okay with that.
Because he was handed a list. Meet the genocide supporters from the music industry who sneakily wrote a secret, quote-unquote, confidential message to the Glastonbury Festival to try and have Kneecap banned from the festival opening later this month. I've been passed a copy of this secret message, and with it, all the emails of the genocide protectors who signed it. Follow this thread to be introduced to each one of these denizens of the music industry, along with details of their job, company, social media handles, email, and sundry other details. If you oppose the genocide, you may want to write to them or send them a message on social media. I can't. Obviously, anyone who does this should be polite, avoid profanity, and certainly keep within the law. He says, my investigation on the group is behind this is below. So he starts here with this gentleman, David Levy, a genocide supporter who is a partner at Endeavor and a senior member of the WME music team. All right, so he then outs that here's some information from a Code Pink post on Instagram about him.
Yuck.
Talent agency William Morris Endeavor promotes hate and violence against Palestinians. One of their top agents, Brant Joel, texted "kill them all" to a staff group. Sorry.
You're okay.
To a staff group chat in reference to Palestinians and those who support them. Code Pink LA, an entertainment labor for Palestine.
On being the world's biggest bitch.
Well, we got a lot of people on this list, so you're going to have to keep that one warmed up. All right. Visited WME's offices yesterday to confront them and deliver a teach-in on how media bias promotes violence against Palestinians. I'm sure that went really well. Remember, again, if you oppose genocide, you may want to write to them or send them a message. And again, he's reminding them to keep it professional and clean, because he has to. Here's a second signatory on the secret email sent to Glastonbury. Meet Brian Message, partner, Courtyard Management, co-founder of All Things Considered Limited, co-manager of Johnny Marr.
Okay.
Nick Cave.
Go ahead.
PJ Harvey, Tom York, Radiohead, the Smile of Chair Aces Multi-Academy Trust. One wonders if there's a relationship between the vile anti-Palestinian activities of Radiohead and Nick Cave and their contact with ATC. Band, don't it? Yep. So we can count Brian in with the pieces of shit. All right. Here's the third signatory. Meet Mike Greek, co-head of CAA talent agents and supporter of genocide for sure. He oversees a roster that includes Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Haim, whoever that is, One Republic, Sam Smith. So he's into all like the boy bands and pop music.
Yeah.
Again, I'm old.
Sure.
Tate McRae, The Script, 30 Seconds to Mars, Sigur Ross.
Zara Lafont.
All right. Zara Larsson and Paloma Faith, Westlife. Right.
Sam Smith.
Here's his email, mgreech@caa.com. Oh, I didn't say that, did I? Sorry, I did say that. All right. Remember, if you oppose genocide, you may want to write to them or message them. And he goes through this thread. Now, what's really interesting is that it breaks at number 5. Why? Because at number 5, somebody mass reported him for something. All right. But have no fear. He went back in. Here's the 5th signatory on the secret email sent to Glastonbury. Meet Melanie Kessler, a production coordinator in London and a racist genocide heir. A casual acquaintance with her posts and reposts on LinkedIn reveals a litany of genocide propaganda. She even reposts that inversion of reality that is the phrase genocidal death cult, which she applies to Hamas. The whole world knows that the only genocidal death cult in Palestine is the Zionist movement. As ever, every Zionist accusation is a confession. The previous version of this post included Miss Kessler's email, her photo, and screen grabs of her LinkedIn posts. I've left these out as a version of the post. This version, as my account was frozen for the last day as a result of the alleged violation of the Twitter rules. I've commented elsewhere about this on Twitter, and I'm seeking to better understand how the rules are being interpreted. But in any case, Ms. Kessler has chosen to delete her LinkedIn profile, as well as her talent manager profile. Huh, about that. I imagine this is in a bid to pretend that she's not a public figure and to encourage Twitter to believe that screen grabs of her public posts should henceforth now be regarded as private information. I have to say that this attempt to evade accountability will not work. Hashtag dismantle Zionism. And then, as a convenience, he links back to the 6th post so you can continue the thread. Now we scroll all the way down to the bottom, and that would be number 28. So he literally outs and puts profiles out there on 28 genocide supporters, Zionist supporters, and lets people identify exactly who they are so they know within the entertainment industry who they're dealing with and who not to deal with effectively. You know, again, I had a conversation yesterday with Matt Weinglass from the Homeless Left. Matt is actually in Hollywood. He's been a writer. He's been a producer. He started live streaming and podcasting with a small group of actors called the Sherwood Players. And it all ended up breaking down and degrading over politics, which they first decided to avoid talking about. But as COVID happened and more things politically were charged, people wanted to talk about it. And he ended up splitting up the group and doing his own thing and making his own show called The Homeless Left. So that kind of dovetails into this because there are people in London in the entertainment industry, which is just as powerful as the Los Angeles entertainment industry, that are shielding Zionism, whitewashing genocide, and protecting Israel from having any repercussions from within the entertainment industry by bullying and silencing anybody that speaks out against it, like Kneecap.
You're fired.
Meet Josh Binder, who's a supporter of the genocide in Palestine. He's a partner at RMB Law, and that's him in the middle below, the recipient of the Variety 2024 Music Legal Elite Accolade. That's him. Piece of shit. All right. He has also been heavily involved with the Zionist regime's front group, Creative Community for Peace, although all they do is want to genocide Palestinians. All right. And industry ambassadors amid explosive tensions in the Middle East. Oh, look who's in the middle. Look who he's fucking.
This man
Dude, fucking Mayim Bialik. Literally, Blossom. Awful. The worst. All right. Again, there's his contact info right there, including his email, LinkedIn, Instagram. So if you want to pay him a message, apparently you're able to very easily. And we encourage you to very
Blossom
nicely and calmly.
Buttercup or Bubbles.
Anyone who does
But
this
Blossom.
should be polite, avoid profanity, and certainly keep within the law. But if you don't, I can't stop you. And you can't say that I encouraged you to do it. All right. So that's the David Miller thread. Man, he went at it for like 3 days doing this research and outing these people. And man,
Dude, it was nuts.
did it make them
He would
very
put out, like-
angry.
He would put out like a couple, be like, all right, that's enough for a bit. Then he
Let-
put in another couple. You're like, all right, fucking tea time. You know what I'm saying?
It was like Chinese water torture.
Fucking
Okay. The 8th
go get a couple of
signatory,
biscuits.
David Laub of Disorder Group. Eyebrows or eyes
Dude,
are
look
set
at that
pretty
5
far
head,
apart.
first of all.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
my
a pretty
God.
big one.
That's a
All right.
fucking, he could pick up fucking cable with that thing. What?
Here's Danielle
Like-
Livesey from Push Management, who's a supporter of genocide in Levant. All right. And then we've got Sarah Hildering. All right. How much plastic surgery do you need, lady? Stop the Botox. Trust me. Stop. All right. Gary Cohen, I'll bet that is, or Kohana. Okay. He is from Simpatico Music and Brands. Okay. They work with brands like O2, Samsung, Burberry, big brands. They work with us. Uh-huh. He does look like he's a little on the quirky spectrum, I have to say. And
What does that
here's,
mean?
well, anyone ever seen that show Life Goes On would know what that meant. There's
Okay.
There's another one. Louise Hart from BMG New Music. All right. BMG is the world's 3rd largest music publisher. All right. So they're pretty powerful when they say that they don't want a band to be part of it. They literally can blackball your band out of existence. They represent Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, Diane Warren, right? Bruno Mars and Pitbull, John Legend. A lot of Zionists in there. Or at least
Which one was the one that
main Zionism? What?
which was the like parent holding company of the Diddy ones? Because remember like that whole Whitney Webb 5-part article that
Yeah, that's
no one's
Clive
managed to
Davis.
read yet?
That's Clive Davis, Universal
Right.
Music Group, I believe. I think that's a whole other thing that's completely separate from all of this.
Yeah, with like they were connected to mob shit and the fucking American Gangster and all that shit.
Yes.
Like craziness.
All right, here's
And of course
Saul
it ties
Galpern.
to Israel. Of course it does.
He's the managing director at Nude Music Group and has been for 32 years.
Sure.
All right. Simply Red, The Fall, Julian Cope, The Triffids, The Slits, and The Au Pairs. Very British. Right?
Watch
Even
your
more
profanity.
people I've never heard of. All right. So Richard Baskin, I think I've heard of this guy. All right. Head of Department Music
Carol
and
Baskins?
partner-in-law at SMB in Soho. He's also a supporter of genocide in Israel. All right.
Levant.
Yep. So all of these people, and again, I will put a link to this thread in the description afterwards and you could definitely on Substack. There will be a description there. And then if I can get it into the YouTube videos and Rumble, I'll get it there as well when we put the clips out. Otherwise, the links will all be over at YouTube or over at Substack. All right. That is the David Miller segment. So again, fuck Israel for the control that they're exerting over the music industry in order to try to silence Kneecap and anyone that speaks out against their genocide.
Yeah.
So again, fuck Israel, fuck
You
Zionism.
just keep scrolling. You just keep scrolling.
Yep.
Fucking
You keep
another one,
scrolling,
another one.
25.
Another
26.
one.
All right, you got all the way up to number 28.
Like,
Again, there he is. Josh Binder. All right. So again, we certainly don't get monetized for outing the Zionists in the entertainment industry. So we certainly could use your help.
yeah.
The ways to do that are Cash App, $, Indie News Network. Thank you, John H., for the Cash App. ko-fi.com/Indie News Network. PayPal.me/Indie News Network. Okay, we've also got IndieNewsNow.com where you can keep the media free and fund the media you want to see. And then we've got over on Substack, and greetings to everyone over on Substack watching at IndieMediaToday.com. And we've also got the INNNewsletter.com where we usually publish out a daily update. I did not publish one Saturday or Sunday, but we did put out podcast episodes via INN Newsletter, so you were able to see something. I love you all. Keep independent media free and support independent media because we need it more than ever, fam. Thanks.
Bye-bye! Bye-bye, Israel!
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want?